If you take a quick look at my YouTube channel, you might be able to tell from my profile picture that I am a Sonic fan, even though I've only made 3 videos about the blue blur. Well, but the point stands that I love Sonic, and 2017 was a really great year to be a Sonic fan, and a really bad one. If you enjoyed Sonic Forces, more power to you, but let's talk about Sonic Mania. Mania is really a great Sonic game, and in fact, you might not know this, but I believe Mania to be the best Sonic game, even though my personal favorite is Sonic Unleashed, which just says something about how good Sonic Mania actually is. In the meanwhile, before I make my review on Sonic Mania, which will be out in June I think, let me talk about one of the best parts of Sonic Mania, Studiopolis Zone, and why it is such an amazing zone. So before I give my takes and such, I need to give you an objective level overview, where I try to avoid putting in my opinions and feelings until later, so that you can understand how the level is laid out, what you can encounter, and the 2 bosses at the end of the 2 acts. So I guess this is a spoiler warning, but it is a 2D Sonic stage, so I don't think it's a big deal, so let's just get right into it. Studiopolis Zone is a zone set in a city focused on the entertainment industry, specifically the film industry, with lots of environments being clever nods to it, like director chairs, TV cars, and clapperboards that make up ramps. The colors are bright and stand out to the dark blue general color of the zone, like how entertainment districts shine bright in big cities compared to the more cultural side of cities. Speaking of color, there are places where Sonic goes into buildings of sorts, with yellow backgrounds making Sonic turn into a silhouette, which is quite fitting in a city landscape. The backgrounds are filled with old CRT TVs, billboards that give clever nods to older games, and faces of Robotnik on live TV that shows how Dr. Robotnik is broadcasting his plan to take over the film industry. But for the main gimmicks of the zone, we have a popcorn machine that throws Sonic into the air, the TV cars that transport Sonic to different sections of the stage through satellite TV, and like I mentioned with the clapperboards, some create temporary environments that crumble once you touch them. Even the enemies we see here are based on TV. We have one of them called the mic drop, which is literally what it says, a mic that drops from a ceiling and can shock you. There is also a shutterbug, which is a camera that flies around and snaps a picture of Sonic, which deals major damage. As for the acts, Act 1 starts off with what good Sonic zones have, a upper and a lower section, branching paths, where if you maintain your speed, you're rewarded with the upper path and the capability of getting more speed, and other items. However, this same thing can happen at the lower path. There are multiple loops, slopes, and springs all over the place that help you maintain your speed and keeps pushing you onwards. Of course, you can come to a standstill and bask in the great city vibe that it has, and find Chaos Emerald Rings or extra lives, or simply to look at the references. Act 2 is a much larger level and still has the same core level layout as the first act, branching paths that let you maintain and gain speed and the option to explore, along with gimmicks like teleporting through electrical wires and a slot machine of sorts. As for the boss fights, the first one is a speed race of sorts against the heavies where you have to dodge and deflect the RPG missiles at them, and Act 2's boss is a bit tamer where you fight against Dr. Robotnik, who controls the weather of wind, heat, and lightning, which is, in the end, quite an easy boss. So now that we have the general description of what the level is and how it's laid out, it's time for me to talk about why I think this level is as good as it is. Loops and slopes. That's one of the core aspects that makes the classic Sonic tick. When Sonic exploded onto the scene, it wasn't just his attitude and Sega's S-tier levels of marketing that helped thwart Nintendo's grasp on the console market, because of how different Sonic's core was compared to Mario, and it all came down to going fast. Mario was generally a slower paced platform with a focus on jumping, while Sonic was more about going fast and keeping that momentum. Looking back at the first Sonic game, which came out way back in 1991, there were 2 levels that really showed Sonic's capability of going fast. The first zone and the 5th zone, Green Hill Zone and Starlight Zone. Both these levels were all about speed, branching paths with the punishing bottom path and an adrenaline-filled upper path. And it was this feeling of speed that was later pushed even further in Sonic 2 and Sonic 3 that made Sonic, Sonic, with examples such as Chemical Plant Zone in Sonic 2 and Hydrocity Zone in Sonic 3. So in Sonic Mania, along with remixing some classic stages, how did the developers create the new stages with the core of Sonic? From the level overview, I think you can see the picture of what Mania devs did to make this zone as good as it is. With its slopes and its loops, there are so many areas for you to gain speed and keep the Sonic rolling, and this is truly an art. Yes, art. I labeled this section the art of speed, and I'll make a full-fledged video about speed and gaming later, but back to Studiopolis. Not only is it designed for you to maintain speed, but it's also easy for you to create it. You can go off exploring to find a giant ring, and once you come out of it, bam, you're thrown right out of it, and right back into the fast slopes of the game. Or you can head to the closest slope nearby, if you aren't thrown out of it. Along with the gimmicks in the level, the popcorn machine and satellite dishes I mentioned earlier, it all goes so fast, and along with it being eye candy, it means that you're almost never at a standstill. You can fully experience the level for what it is just by cruising right by it at the speed of sound. The details together on their own are small nods and references, but at full speed it all blends together to show you a visually stunning city zone. The city here in Studiopolis Zone is stunning, yes, and that helps create this vibe that is different from other zones. Metropolis Zone? Nah, more like Bad Factory Zone. Studiopolis is the true Metropolis Zone. The lighting, specific enemies, and art direction of the stage is it really is unmatched. I think I already described how beautiful the whole stage is, and I feel like I'm repeating myself now, but hear me out again. This stage is absolutely wonderful. Like I said, if you go fast in the stage, it looks phenomenal. If you choose to go slow, the stage just looks just as beautiful as it does. And then you can check out the smaller details that the designers put into it. However, I've been talking for, 6 minutes, I think, without having mentioned the deal sealer of the zone, the music. Studiopolis' level songs are out of this world. T. Lopes, more like T the masterclass music writer Lopes. Really, these two songs go so hard it's unreal. Act 1 is slower compared to Act 2's song, and for good reason. It's like in Act 1, the music is replicating the feeling you get when you enter the nightlife of a city that you haven't seen before, and you're just looking around and taking it all in, and Act 1's track does this tenfold. Act 2's is a bit faster paced and just shows the experience you have received from the first zone, since you aren't new anymore but rather experienced, and with slight changes of new melodies, it still shows that even though that you think you've seen everything a city has to offer, there's always something new that shows up. But even more, the music fits the level design. Act 1 lets you take your time with the music, yet going fast is always an option. On the other hand, Act 2 always lets you go take it slow, but with more gimmicks, speed becomes second nature and you just end up going through it faster. I mean, really, I'm not sure how else to explain this, but it's just such a great feeling, and for the first time, and on so many replay playthroughs after that. I don't say this lightly, but I think Sonic Mania Studiopolis Zone is one of the best Sonic zones ever, period. Green Hill is iconic, but this right here is a modern masterpiece. If I need to rank my favorite Sonic levels, like in general, 2D, 3D, Studiopolis Zone has some strong arguments to stand toe-to-toe with some of my all-time favorites, such as Rooftop Run and City Escape. Its design, city aesthetic, banging soundtrack, they all come together to create a 2D zone that, in my opinion, is the best 2D Sonic zone of all time. And with that, welcome to the end of the video, and thanks for watching. Let me know your favorite 2D Sonic stages, or any stage for that matter, down below. And any support is appreciated, along with critiques too, but yeah, Sonic Mania is truly an amazing Sonic game, and in my opinion, one of the best games of all time. For videos, I'll be going back to 2 uploads a month, I think, since I've managed to catch up from the weeks when I was sick, and I'm going to have a Sonic Mania review up next month in June before Sonic Origins Collection drops, which I can't wait for. Also, I just started Xenoblade Chronicles, the first one, and it is such an amazing JRPG and a true masterpiece, which you will hear one of my reasons for why it is in the next video, next week. I think, no, not next week. Yeah, no, it will be the next video. But anyways, hopefully I didn't take away too much from your time today, and I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next one. Storm, out.